Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Bear's Workshop. Lucid Air, it has not started. Okay, yes, it has. It just started, just now. I'm here. I know, I'm late. It's 8:17 my time. I'm sure all the people on the East Coast are starting to go night-night, and everyone in Germany and Europe is already in bed. Sorry for this late start. But, sometimes things happen. And today was just another one of those days where things were happening. So I want to welcome everyone back. We've got today's video. We flew very late, and we're going to just get right into it. Unless we want to give people a couple minutes to get on here real quick. Let's cry over this a little bit. This was yesterday's close, $13.97, down 22 cents. Did get up to 14.44. Didn't stay there, but so goes the market. Lucid was following the market yesterday, just like everything else, down, down, down. Hopefully, with the end of the quarter being over, and maybe some companies announcing how their numbers are better than expected, things will kind of pick up. I think Lucid did good. I think that they've started to ramp up their production like predicted, though I don't think part of their prediction was laying off a couple people in order to get there. But they did, and I think things are really starting to flow right now. So we got a couple people on. I hope you guys are all drinking, having a good time, except for watching me for some reason on a Saturday night. But hey, it is what it is. Let's get to the video, shall we? Shall we? I'll keep saying that until I can get it on the screen. There we go. All right. I'm going to get right into this. Slowly. There we go. There we go. Chris is going to get himself another Jameson. Very good. You guys all drink. And feel free to go crazy with that like button. All right, so it was Saturday. It was probably around 4 p.m. when we flew. You could see here, we'll stop it right here, employee parking lot. Not a lot of people there, but it was Saturday at 4 o'clock. And I do see quite a few cars. I'm going to say there's at least 100 cars in that parking lot there. There was nothing in the construction. Up here is the construction employee parking lot. They were done for the day. They were gone. And throughout the site, we saw nothing with construction. Like I said, it was late. So we did not expect to see much. We can see the improvements down here on Thornton Road. They've got some more curbing put in. They've got, it looks like up here, some of the middle curbing for the divided highway may be in, or at least the raised section, which is just signs that they're making progress. So hopefully it doesn't take the 8 months that they said it would, because that's quite a long time for a 1 mile strip of road. But I don't really know what they're doing as far as the extent of it. Heading down further south, at the end is the SKD building. That building at night, if we were here a little bit later, we'd notice that there are internal lights or external lights also. Internal lights could be anything, but they've got the external lights, as in they're lighting up their docks and things like that. So that says that there's full power there, because they wouldn't hook that up to the temporary power for the construction workers. You can see some of this area is all paved. We haven't seen any progress on that since our last visit. And I'm sure that will commence sometime in the near future, because that has been holding steady like that. But that doesn't mean much. All right, headed back over, you can see that the rubber membrane on the roof is extending further to the south. All of this is done. This area is all done, and it is continuing this way. You could see all the materials up there staged to get laid out. And now we're headed north. Was I late? I didn't think I was late. I looked at my thing and said, okay, maybe I was a minute late. Okay, it says I'm 5 minutes in and it's 8:21. I was a minute late. minute late. I'm still going over video from Nicola when I realized it was 8:15. We just had a lot going on today. And as we move further, we can see the tunnel that's going to transport the cars from one building to the other building for paint. And they are still working on the tunnel. You can see that they've got the roof decking on a majority of it. And this building is still closed off, and it will remain closed off, I'm sure, until they have dried in the tunnel itself. And we're going to get a closer look at it right here. You can see that there's no hole in the wall over here. That's still all sealed up. But they obviously have quite a bit more work to do on that. And it is moving along. And Lucid Air finally saw a silver. There are some silver airs in the parking lot today. So I don't mean to be a spoiler, but yeah, there's definitely some silver ones in there. Unless they're gray. But they look pretty silver to me. All right. Backing out. And we're going to keep heading north. Yep, I know it's weird. Not a lot of activity. But like I said, it was late. No construction going on at 4 p.m. on a Saturday. But I also think that they're right on schedule, and there's no reason for them to be jumping on that. Like working, paying people overtime and shift differential and things like that. Another look at the tunnel. Doesn't look like there's a hole except for right there. So I'm wondering, the cars come through here and they obviously are going to drop down, but where? Because it's not that. You think that area would have been empty, but I don't know. I don't know what their steps are in building this, so I'm sure they know what they're doing, and they don't need advice from me. Not that they would take it. Hediyat's here. Hello. Okay, so here on the right we have the body in white building, still moving along. Looks like they've got another 2 spots here for the AC units. One here and one there. We just missed it. But we definitely will have 2 more AC units going up there. And there's a stamping building. Quite the building, huh? The cranes are down. There's another one around here somewhere, and its crane is down also. We can see this railing right here. These rails right here will have an overhead crane on it and will move parts back and forth, like different dies for the presses that are in there, to change them out to make different parts. And they may use that for changing out the dies, or they may have other methods that I'm not aware of. Good evening, Sam. I know you guys are all here to see the parking lot where the cars are, so we'll be getting there shortly, don't you worry. I got 93 people on a Saturday night. I was expecting a low turnout, and that's on the better side of a turnout. So welcome everybody. While you're here, while you're drinking, hit that like button please, because only 1/3 of you have. Yes, Brian says that building is massive. Yeah, that is a very large building. And for all you Tesla fanboys like Brian, yeah, I know it doesn't compare to Giga Texas, but it is still very, very large. This entire complex, once fully built out, will be over 6 million square feet. Q3, we are here. Yeah, I'm definitely expecting better numbers in Q3. If they're not better, I'm just going to be flabbergasted, because that would mean that they're taking all these cars and putting them somewhere else and not delivering them. But I know you guys are looking over to the right and looking at the parking lot, but we are going to stare at the stamping building for a minute, and then we're going to go take a look at the cars and see what's not there. Well, yep, there they are. Or where are they? They are not there, are they? How odd. Where are the cars? Yeah, another view of the stamping building. Oh, we're teasing you. KK wants to know if there's going to be a Nicola flyover video today. Yes, there is. It's still a good hour out. We've been so busy that That's just what happened. What really happened was that with my Toro business, with the 17 cars that we have, minus one that got totaled last weekend, the 16 cars, minus the two that are out because they were also in accidents. All right, so my 14 cars, they're all out, and we only had one car available. And we were driving that one, and we just didn't have a car available to go down there. So as you can see here, we've got something new going on, a new kind of wrap. It looks like they're just doing the front and they're doing the spoiler. It looks like, or the rear of the trunk, and you got the fake grill, the faux grill, is covered. Obviously, this is to protect the car as it's going down the road from rocks and things that may be flying up, because that's where they're going to hit during transport. Though they could hit the windshield also. So it looks like they're not going with a complete wrap, but can't confirm that yet until we actually see it on a car hauler. There were no car haulers out there, as there was really not much there, but those look like silver cars to me, don't they? Whoa, let's go back. Went too fast. So yeah, those definitely look like silver. Anybody disagree? So yeah, all the cars are gone, Ben. Let's take a look. So there's barely any cars down here. There's probably about 20. I haven't counted. I'm not going to. This whole area, empty. We've probably got another 20 or so up here. And we've got some up top. But we really have a serious lack of cars. They are gone, which means they're out for delivery. How many of those did they actually deliver before Q3 ended yesterday? Couldn't tell you. But they've been chucking them out for the last couple of weeks. So I think the numbers are going to be a lot better. Pretty happy about that. And I think we're going to see a whole lot more than 679 from over last quarter. So looking good. So let's just hope in a month when they have their earnings report that is confirmed and they didn't just move them somewhere else. There's some cars that are actually fully covered. There's some more that are fully covered, and some covered with a darker gray. Don't know what that's all about. Don't know what the differences are. Don't know why they went to the different type of covering, whether it's just cheaper or easier, especially when you have to get car covers where you can see out of and also open doors. So maybe this is just simplifying the process. All right. Brian asked, what car would you recommend for smuggling? Bronco Sport. That was the car that was used on my Toro business for smuggling, for human trafficking, which I did get back with only some mud on it. I was very fortunate, but definitely well, maybe it wasn't a good human smuggling car because it was they got caught. So I don't know. I wouldn't use a Lucid Air in the dirt. I'll tell you that. But my Bronco was in the dirt. It didn't get away. Maybe you need a full-size Bronco. Hamid has been watching since this has been all dirt. He's got 7,000 shares of Lucid. Go Lucid. Ben also says it means that they've produced much in the past few days. And on our last visit on Tuesday, there were 11 car haulers. Just at that particular 1 hour of time that we were there, 11 car haulers that we saw. And that just means they could have been coming in and out all day. It's not a coincidence that they're there when we show up. That means that they're always there, moving in and out. For companies with a backlog, I care more about production and delivery since they're already sold. That's so Brian says, and that is true, and that's very important. Production matters. All these cars are sold already. They're not going to go sit on a lot at a dealership waiting to be sold. Just put the Bronco wheels on a Lucid. Yeah, that looked kind of crappy, actually. Surge, the car hauler, posted a video for Manhattan. I'll have to take a look at that. I was just in Manhattan a couple weeks ago. I would not want to drive a car hauler through Manhattan. Not at all. Lucinaire says he heard big news is coming at earnings or after. Well, maybe. Maybe they'll announce something about the Gravity, but that's not big news for me. All I care about is production right now. I can't say we've seen any touring. They are a little bit harder to identify. We'd have to like really examine all the wheels to see if any of them are just the touring. Boss said he saw on Twitter that Warren purchased a share of Lucid. Not sure if it's true. I didn't see that, but that would, I don't know why. It was probably a bet that he lost or something if he did. Any update on the SEC investigation? I have not heard a thing about that since they announced that Lucid Vision with 2 N's has how many cars delivered Q3? I'm going to probably say somewhere between 1,500 to 2,000. I know it's kind of vague, but that's the way I don't look wrong, is just making a really wide bet. See a lot of boxes there on the right. More than likely, that is got to be something with production equipment, is my guess. Things coming in for assembly or things that are needed for assembly of a car and production of a car. They could be racks that need assembled, things like that, where you're storing parts, things of that nature. And then you can also see these ramps right here where a car would travel up or down, depending on where they're going. So that's kind of interesting to see. It's a lot of work for what is really a startup company to put together a factory and to produce cars on this scale. This building is huge, huge. Brian asked what was their production guidance for Q3 expectations. They failed to mention any production guidance. They went with full year guidance of 6,000 to 7,000 after they reduced it from 12 to 14,000. They reduced it to 6 to 7. If they did 2,000, that would probably put them somewhere in the neighborhood of having 3,000 done. And I'm sandbagging. I'm trying to go low when I say 15 to 2,000. But they did no guidance for Q3. That way, they can't be wrong. Seems that their limit now is not deliveries but production after fixing previous logistics and VP issues. Yeah, makes you kind of wonder what were those issues with why those 6 people were either let go or quit or resigned for whatever reason they're told to. Just because, how are 6 people holding everything back? What is it? And I've asked that question before. Were they the ones that said we want better quality? These cars aren't ready to go out? I don't know. Hamid asked, when will all this be ready? Mid-2023? Probably. I think their goal was late Q1 for this next section of the factory to be complete, which is within 6 months as of today. So, and there still seems like there's a lot of work to do. The stamping building is really just a shell. The body and white building, for the most part, still just a shell. The main warehouse building, can't really see what's going on in there, but last time we were able to see, some areas had concrete, other areas did not. I'm going to go ahead and rewind this for the people that joined late, and we're going to keep chatting and until we all fall asleep because it's late. Listener asks, are they going to make their 6 to 7K goal or revise down? I think it would be a disaster if they revise down, but if they can't make the 6 to 7, they have to revise down. Unless they just want to take the hit at the end of the year and say, well, we couldn't quite do it. As opposed to maybe they can do it. And I think if they keep delivering the way that they're delivering and keep improving their production the way that they have, I think they will be able to. If the numbers are correct, 1,500 to 2,000 for quarter 3. Micah says, I love how the sunlight is hitting inside of the building from the west. Awesome that we can see concrete floor inside. Yeah, there's different angles that we get when we fly at a different time, and we usually don't fly in the afternoon, evening, because we end up live streaming at 8:30 at night, my time, and I know some of you guys are. It's got to be real late for you, and for some reason you're watching me instead of having another beer. What do I think about Polestar at $5? Well, it makes me very sad because I own shares in that at more than 5. So I don't think that's deserved. I think Polestar, well, I don't think the car is the best one in the world. I probably enjoy driving it more than like the Hyundai Ioniq. That car just frustrates the hell out of me every time I get into it. And while the Polestar is lacking in a lot of things, I didn't get it heavily loaded with options either. It's a good car. They're meeting all their sales expectations and their goals. So I don't know why it's sitting at 5. I know the whole market's down, but I think that's undervalued. Andromeda asked me, what do I think about the Tesla robot? Trying to be nice, because I do think that it's still in a very early concept form, and I do think it's a good idea, and I do think it's something that will work out in the end. But I wonder if showing off what they have now was the best idea. I'm all for it, and I think that it will be a success. And I have a feeling there's a lot of things that they were kind of holding back on that they know that they can do, but they haven't implemented yet. And when it's time to add that in, they will add it in, and it will make it into something a whole lot better than it actually looks like now. Got to make the 3 rules, or whatever they were. A robot can never harm a human being. A robot can never do other things also. The stuff from iRobot. I'm all about that. Lucid says Polestar will run out of cash by next year. Well, I don't think so. I really don't think so. I think Polestar will be around for a while. They've got too much support behind them. They'll be fine. They make a quality car, except for some of the features in it are kind of lacking, but the car works. It does what it's supposed to do. Mulan Automotive, they will have prototype in LA on October 27th. Stock is in the mid 30 cents. Mulan is a company I own like 100 shares of. I bought it real cheap. Well, it was real cheap at the time, but I did not go all in on that, but I just wanted to get a little bit of it. iMelt says, Nikola, Polestar, Lucid will all go to the moon. Are we still looking at Electromechanica? We have driven past there at night about 3 weeks ago, and they had all the lights on in the factory, and they have a couple of windows, and the factory floor was empty. There was nothing in there. And we were thinking about going back there and just doing a quick video going, hey, what's going on here? This is their factory, and we're not seeing anything. because they actually have windows at a ground level that just show the factory floor, and we just didn't see much in there at all. The other day I went past there. There was a Solo parked out front. They keep one parked in the front lobby. The one that was out front looked like the same one. So, really not sure. There was a guy who works for Electromechanic. I'm not going to say his name. He was supposed to give me a call. We were supposed to get together and maybe see what we could do for each other. And we just, he never called us. So, yeah, Tesla should have delivery numbers tomorrow. They should. I expect them to meet expectations or exceed expectations of the analysts. And I think that will help somewhat if one company can show that they can make money, still build cars, beat the supply chain problems. I think that's a good thing. Shan Lee says, I saw Polestar cars on the road. More Polestar cars on the road than Rivian and Lucid. Where I live, I'm seeing a Polestar car, a Polestar maybe every 2 days. Rivian, I'm seeing maybe about every 5 or 6 days. I saw a Rivian last night, and I saw a Polestar the day before. And still have seen 0 Lucids on the road. But I'm sure that is going to change soon. iRobot, 3 laws. Got to live by those 3 laws. Somebody posted that scene from iRobot where Will Smith is pointing the gun at the robot's head, saying that something about a robot is going to protect itself or something, and shooting one in the head like 3 or 4 times. I love that scene. I thought it was a great scene. The one robot peeks his head out. Gotcha! And goes after him. HRAC, what is a good percentage to have in portfolio? Lucid, Rivian, Polestar, Nikola? Oh, I'm not answering that. That's a stock question. I do not give stock advice. I'm here for entertainment purposes only. Chifazo has only spotted a Lucid twice in Arizona. I have spotted them, but around the factory, and I'm not going to count those. Micah saw one in downtown LA and one on the 405 freeway. And Brian's asking Lucid where he heard about an emergency meeting. I didn't hear anything, but I also have been out all day. Andromeda says he usually sees Model 3 and Ys and nothing else yet. I see a ton of Model 3s, a ton of Model Ys, tons of Model S's. And I don't even mean the ones in my yard. I just see them all the time. White ones, a lot of white ones. So what do you think they would do at a Fed emergency meeting? I don't know what would happen at an emergency meeting of the Fed. Shanley's seen 3 Lucids in Raleigh, North Carolina. That's interesting. That wouldn't be the first place where I'd guess that. Okay, in case you guys missed it before, this is obviously the car waiting area. We've got some cars that are fully covered, and then a lot of cars that are just like partially wrapped for protection and delivery, which seems to be a new thing. And you can see some of those are down below if we go back over there. But most of the cars are missing. Is there any picture of the final factory when complete? There are some renders out there, but those renders were made such a long time ago that the floor plan footprint has changed so much. Ben asked, did we get our drone fixed? It turns out that the problem that we had was more than likely with the charging cable. It had shorted out and melted, and it was so hot that when we touched it, we got burned. But the controller seems to mostly be working. It is acting a little funny in the sense that when we try to charge it, it just flashes on and off, which it's not supposed to do. So we're hoping there's nothing permanently wrong with it. It seems to be flying okay, but it was a $900 controller, so I'm hoping that there's nothing permanently wrong with it. Micah says he sees more Model 3s than Toyota Camry in LA. Well, the thing about that is you don't notice Camrys. Uh, you know, I notice Model 3s more, but I know that there's a whole lot of Camrys out there. Any update on the LG battery plant? You know what? We haven't taken a look, but that's probably not a bad idea. We've kind of forgotten about that because the excitement of a battery plant is not that much, and I think it's just outside of the no-fly zone, but it's something that we need to stop over there and take a look and see if they've made any progress. Todd says, happy Saturday to me. Thank you, and a happy late Saturday to you also. Really hope that mute button worked for that. We did hear about some sort of delay with that, but it wouldn't hurt to drive by to see if there's something going on there. I think there was definitely some people also fighting the whole idea of that plant being put out there for unknown reasons. They said, why are we going to put this plant right in the middle of all this housing? And it's right in the middle of a bunch of farmland, and it's right on the edge of an industrial area, which is real close to an airport. So that's probably why. Boss says New York City's getting there, more and more Teslas. When I was there a couple weeks ago, I think I may have seen 2 Model S's, but I would never drive my Tesla in New York City. I've personally been involved in over 15 accidents in New York City. In Manhattan, I would not. People are just drive too aggressive there, and they don't give a crap about your $100,000 car. So, no, not taking it there. Not at all. Brian says the massive EV Ford and battery plant in Stanton, Tennessee is moving along nicely. I have not followed that, but I do know that my Mach-E is supposed to go into production this week. The only thing that will prevent me from getting that is getting additional money lent to me, because the banks are starting to get a little tight with me because I have so many installment loans. So we're hoping that we can still get the Mach-E, but that may not happen. All right, yeah, there you can see the concrete with the sun shining in there with those angles. You can see how far south that they've gotten the concrete, and it looked like it turned to dirt, like right about here. Looks kind of dirty over here. No more concrete. I know that they still have concrete trucks running in and out of there. That looks like it's still dirt going right into there. Don't see any type of transition. It's a big addition. It's 2.7 million square foot, so expect it to take a long time, but they'll get it done. All right, we are over 30 minutes right now on a late Saturday night, so we are going to get going soon, real soon. So I want to get ready to wrap it up. If anyone's got any questions, comments, complaints, put it in the chat right now so that I can address it before we go. But we're gonna probably finish up when we finish circling around, and which is almost there. In case anyone's still wondering, I'm gonna stop it right there because this occasionally gets brought up. Oh, look at that went the wrong way. The railroad track, the existing one, ends right about here. It's going to go through here, follow my mouse, and come around over here and stay on the west side of the property. And at that point, there'll be a fork in the railroad, and they'll be loading up cars at some point. Not sure at what phase that is going to be happening, but that is planned for the future. Brian says, I'm just here so I don't get fined. I'm going to have to figure that joke out because I don't get it. Is every building shown phase 2? No, phase 3. Phase 3 is this whole area over here. all the staging area right here is phase 3, if that's what you mean, because I'm not sure. And then they're going to have some more stuff over here, and I'm not sure what it's going to be yet, because those plans get changed often. A Seahawks joke. Okay. Yeah, Brian's from that neck of the woods. Sorry, I didn't get it. Marshall Lynch kept saying that at a press. Oh, okay. I do remember that. That was a while ago. All right, Sam says 2025 going to be like rockets. And Trey Rue says, how many shares you guys? But we're going to get ready to pretty much end this at this point. So you guys can answer down in the comments or in the chat while it stays open. But we are going to head off to bed. Now, we still have to get the Nikola video out. What is the northern east building for? Northern east. The building in the most northern east is the body in white building. And Todd says, good to see less cars on the lot means shipping more. Yes, it does. They are getting those cars out of there, and that is fantastic to see. So I want to thank everyone for being here. We will be back early next week with our Nikola live stream. And by the way, the Nikola Flyover is coming out. And guess what? Their parking lot is empty also. Even though we saw all those trucks there on Tuesday, all they got is their test trucks and probably about 4 or 5 other sellable trucks. Otherwise, they're all gone. They all disappeared into the night, just like they did last quarter. So it's fun to see all those trucks stack up like that, but then it's also kind of weird that they wait until the end of the quarter. So in any case, check out the Nikola video. That will be coming out probably within the hour. And you guys have a wonderful Saturday. Send me a beer, and